Hey guys, I would like to introduce to you Chronomancer Boon bot for squad play. This is the ARMA build, which is used for squad gameplay in World vs World squad. So let's talk about traits. Chronomancer uses 3 traits: Chaos, Inspiration, and of course Chronomancer. Let's talk about Chaos traits. The main traits to look at are Chaotic Persistence, which give you 250 additional concentration with regeneration on yourself, and Bountiful Disillusionment, which gives you additional boons to your party with your Shatter Skills. So F1 to F5. As you can see here, F1 gives you Might, F2 gives you Vigor, F3 gives you Fury, F4 gives you Regen, and F5 gives you stability for the party. Worth mentioning in Chaos is also Illusionary Defense, which gives you protection on Shatter Skill 2, so F2 ability. Now let's talk about Inspiration, another trait of Chronomancer. The most important things over here are Temporal Enchanter, which gives you resistance and super speed whenever you cast Glamour skill. As you can see here, we have 2 Glamour skills. Time Warp, the elite skill, which gives resistance super speed, and Veil, which gives resistance and super speed. Resistance is a quite important boon to have on your party, because as you can see here, non-damaging conditions currently on you are ineffective, stacking in duration, which means stun, pull, weakness, and stuff like that, which do not damage you but are very annoying to your party, are ineffective when you have resistance on you. Another important trait on inspiration trait line is Mandar's Purity, which gives you cleanse on your healing skill, and also restorative mantras, which also gives you heal on your mantras. And as you can see here, you have 2 mantras on yourself: Power Break, so mantra of concentration, and mantra of recovery. Whenever you use the charge of your mantra, you also heal your party members. And cleanse conditions on healing skill. Also, mental defense in inspiration trait line gives you stun break on F4 skill, which is very good. Chronomancer has 3 stun breaks, as you can see here. F4 is one of them. Power break mantra gives you another one, and Well of Precognition gives you the third stun break. Let's talk about Chronomancer trait line. Most important one is here, Seize the Moment, which gives you quickness for every shatter skill. So F1, F2, F3, F4, F5. All of those skills give quickness to your party, and of course quickness is a very desirable boon to have on your party. Another trait which is quite nice to have is this one: All is well that ends well. As the name suggests, it gives well skills additional stuff, which in this case is healing, 2.5k heal on Well of Precognition, which is over here new utility skill. I'll talk about utility skills a little bit later. Also, this trait is quite important for a Chronomancer. Time marches on. It gives you movement speed increase of 25%, which is very nice to have. Chronomancer feels very nimble because of that. And also, as you can see, give your alacrity a little bit stronger effect. It was changed in the recent update. This alacrity trait was over here, which is this one. Time bomb is now DPS trait, which should not be used in Chronomancer because Chronomancer is not DPS. Another alacrity source for you is this trait over here, Flow of Time. You gain alacrity for each clone you shatter. It's almost 2 seconds of alacrity, and alacrity is you want to have it because your skills recharge faster. Chronomancer uses full minstrel equipment, which gives you toughness, vitality, concentration, and healing power. For the rune, you want Rune of the Water, which gives you healing power and Boon duration. For infusions, you want 5 concentration infusions, and the rest going for is healing power infusion. Relic, you choose Relic of Febe, which cures immobilized, chilled, and crippled whenever you use healing skill, and also gives you swiftness for you and your party. For weapons, you choose sword, shield in one set. The other set would be a rifle. For the sigils, you choose Superior Sigil of Frenzy, which will recharge all equipped skills by 2 seconds when you kill an enemy. In squad play, you kill a lot of enemies, so it's very good. Mind you, it's every 10 seconds. And another sigil is Sigil of Concentration, which gives you 10% of Boon duration additional. And the same goes for rifle. This build consists of underwater weapons as well, also in Minstrel. And for sigils, for those you use Superior Sigil of Cleansing, which removes 3 conditions when you swap to this weapon in combat, which means whenever you want to escape tough situation, you just go to the water and immediately 3 conditions are removed from you, which is quite handful. Another one is Sigil of Concentration, which gives you Boon duration as it is in your normal weapon sets. For the food, you choose bowl of fruit salad with mint garnish, which gives you outgoing healing 10%, healing power, and concentration. For utility or oil, you use Bountiful Maintenance Oil, which gives you increased healing to other, or you can choose Karka Toughness, which is also very good on Chrono. Now let's talk about weapon skills, which is quite important. Let's check the rifle first. You see Friendly Fire. You can heal your allies a bit, 380 healing per shot, which can be useful for maintaining healing on your allies in your party or squad. Also give you combo finisher physical projectile, 20% chance, which may trigger some combo, which is also very good. Next one is Journey, very important skill. It gives you clone, which means you can use your Shatter Skills more effectively. Also gives you Region, which I mentioned before. Region is very important on Chronomancer gives you 250 additional concentration, which gives you Boon duration. Next one in rifle is Inspiring Imagery, which gives might and fury on your party members. Important thing about this skill is that you can flip it or press it again for additional healing. I will explain the rotations later, so you will know how to use it properly. Next skill on rifle is Sharpshooter, the Phantasm on rifle, which, as you can see here, gives stun to the enemy and 10 stacks of vulnerability. It also heals you and your members of your party or squad. This is not very substantial heal, but it is there, and gives you also the quickness when Phantasm is summoned to anyone that's nearby. Next one is Singularity Shot, which is skill that gives barrier to your party or your squad and resistance, a bit overlooked boon on your rifle, but you have it there. Resistance is quite important boon to have on your party, so use it well during the fight. The flip skill of this skill is Dimensional Aperture, which gives a portal for your party member who needs to be ported up the wall or something like that. Bear in mind that it is only for one person, but you have teleport on your rifle skill, which is quite iconic for mesmers to have. Let's talk about another weapon set on Chrono, which is Sword and Shield. Sword has 3 very important skills. Number 1 will be Sword Skill 2, which gives you Blur, evade all attacks for 1 second. Gives you some time to heal yourself or your party. Very nice thing to have to evade attacks in a rough situations. Another important skill is Echo of Memory, which gives you block. It lasts for 1.5 seconds, so all damage dealt to you is blocked, and gives you and your allies protection. When you block an attack, you get Deja Vu, which summon Phantasm, heal your party members, squad members, and give quickness to your party members. And the third important skill is Tides of Time. As you can see, you stun enemies for 1 second. When it passes through them, give swiftness and 5 stacks of might whenever your allies run through it. Sword skill 3 gives you Illusionary Leap, which generates Clone, and Clone gives cripple and vulnerability to your enemy, and also heals your party and squad members. This skill has a flip side. You swap with your clone and you can immobilize your enemy, which is also very good for chasing or any situation that involves that. Now let's talk about utility skills of Chrono. You have Mantra of Recovery as a healing skill. This mantra can be charged anytime off cooldown, but it's very good because it gives you regen, which, as I said before, is quite important on Chronomancer, and heals your allies, of course, and remove conditions from your allies. Additionally, it will remove moving impairing effects from your party every 10 seconds with the Relic of Thebe. As you can see, cures immobilize, cures chilled, cure crippled. Very good. This one is interchangeable. I use Veil very often because it's quite common for commanders to use it for pushing enemies. As you can see, it's a glamour skill, which gives you resistance and super speed with this trait over here. Resistance and super speed are quite good boons to have on your party. But you can change it. Nominally, you can choose to have Signet of Illusions, which gives you clone every few seconds, every 10 seconds to be precise. And also, when you activate it, it will recharge all of your Shatter Skills. When you use it, you press Signet of Illusions, and it will recharge your F1 skills. Very good for boon distribution for your party. You can choose also Illusion of Life, which is Revive skill for 3 party members or squad members. It gives those allies Illusion of Life for 15 seconds. Whenever they kill an enemy during this 15 seconds, they will be fully revived. Otherwise, they will die. So bear in mind that they need to do that. Another utility skill is Mantra of Concentration. This is quite important source of stability for your party. It also breaks stun and also heals your party members. 1.5k healing. It's quite good heal to have. And this skill being a mantra, you can use it quite often. Next skill is Well of Precognition, quite important skill for Chrono. It has few effects. As you can see, it gives you 5.5 seconds of Aegis. It gives you stability. It gives endurance, 30% of endurance regeneration, and also gives you stun break, which is also quite nice to have. And it gives you also 2.5k healing with this trait over here, as I mentioned before. Also very nice. As of elite skill, we use Time Warp. We use it because it gives quickness and slows enemies who's inside. These skills are unblockable. For your party members, it gives super speed, quickness, and resistance, which means this skill is very good for keeping quickness and resistance on your party. And it also gives super speed, which is also very nice to have when you want to push or chase enemies. Let's briefly talk about Shatter Skills, which are the core of Chronomancer. You have 5 Shatter Skills, which you can use. With traits, you give boons to your party members with those Shatter Skills. Gives yourself stability, almost 2 seconds of stability on each F1, F2, F5 skill. Also gives yourself alacrity. The more clones you have, the more alacrity you have. And nonetheless, it gives you alacrity as well. And of course it gives quickness to your party members. It gives 1 second of quickness per clone. The more clones you have, the more quickness you give to your party. So with 1 clone, you get 1 second. With 3 clones, you get 3 seconds of quickness to your party. Each Shatter skill gives additional boon to your party with this trait over here. So F1 skill gives you 3 stacks of might, which you use when empowering before push. F2 skill gives you protection and vigor. This you use just before the clash in melee, or basically when you predict that enemy want to attack you with skills. Also gives you Chaos Aura, which gives you regeneration, which is quite important for Chronomancer, as I said before. F3 skills give you Fury, which you can use in empowering situation before push. F4 is quite important, gives you resistance and Aegis, two very important boons to have on your party. And F5 gives you stability, 3 stacks of stability for 7 seconds. This skill is quite tricky to use and gives you some time to cast some skills that you want to cast. Depending on how many clones you have more time to cast skills. Whenever continuum split ends, you are returned to the state before you push the continuum split, which means you can double cast very important skills like your elite skill, well of precognition, or distortion. This is the 3 most important skills you want to use during the continuum split. Also, Rewinder, which gives you protection and quickness. Now let's talk about boons, which you have on Chronomancer. You can see all of them here. So Aegis, very important skill, comes from 3 skills, from Distortion, F4 skill, your Shatter skill 4. Mantra of Concentration. When you charge your mantra first time, you get 9 seconds of Aegis. So you want to apply the mantra just before your push with your commander. That's when you get your Aegis and 4 stacks of stability for 9 seconds, which is very important. You charge it just before the push to have that extra Aegis and 4 stacks of stability before the push. You have it for 9 seconds, very important. And third source of Aegis is Well of Precognition, which gives you 5.5 seconds of Aegis. Very nice skill to have. You usually use it during the melee clashes because it has several effects. It gives you break stun, it gives you stability in each pulse, and of course gives you Aegis and healing. Now stability, quite important boon to have on your party. As you can see here, there is a lot of sources of stability. Main ones being your mantra, which gives stability to your party. Well of Precognition, which gives stability to your party and squad, of course. And Continuum Split F5 Shatter Skill, which gives stability to you and your party. Bear in mind that F1 to F4 skills give stab as well, but only to yourself. It's almost 2 seconds of stability to yourself, so you can have a lot of stab on yourself to cast other skills. Now resistance, a very important skill. You are immune to pulls, pushes, stuns, and cripple. Some stuff that doesn't damage you but are very irritating to you and your party members. As you can see here, you have 3 sources of resistance. First one being Distortion, so F4 skill, your Shatter skill, gives you 4 seconds of resistance. Another one being Rifle skill number 5, give you 3, almost 4 seconds of resistance, which is very good. And number 4 being Time Warp, gives you resistance, almost 4 seconds of resistance as well on your party. You want to use your Time Warp mainly on you, not your enemy, because it gives very nice boons to your party. Of course, you can use it on you and your enemy in melee clashes, which is very nice to have. Also, the last source of resistance is Veil, which gives you almost 4 seconds of resistance. It is a glamour skill, which gives you resistance and super speed with this trait, Temporal Enchanter. But as I said before, this skill Veil is not mandatory. You ask your commander whenever he wants you to use it. Usually you run with Signet of Illusions or Illusion of Life. These are 2 interchangeable skills you can use in place of Veil. Now Quickness. Quickness is quite important boon to have in World vs. World. The sources are limited, which always is good to have Quickness on you and your party whenever you can use it. So as you can see here, we have few sources of Quickness on your party. Main being your Time Warp Elite skill, gives you Quickness with every pulse. You have 5 pulses, and each gives you almost 2 seconds of Quickness, which result of around 8 seconds of Quickness whenever your party stays in the Time Warp. Another source of Quickness is your Shatter Skills. All of them gives you Quickness. Bear in mind that the more clones you have, the more Quickness you give. So with just 1 clone, you give 1 second of Quickness to your party, and with 3 clones, you give 3 seconds of Quickness to your party. So bear in mind that you need to control your clones. Whenever you have 1 clone, you can use it to share the Quickness with your party. Very good generator of clones is Journey, Rifle skill number 2. It's 10 seconds cooldown. You can use it off cooldown to yourself. It gives you regen, also very important. And it gives you Clone, which you can then shatter with your Shatter skill and give Quickness and all the juicy boons on your party members and squad members. Another source of Quickness, Phantasms. Whenever you summon Phantasm, you give your party members a Quickness, which is also quite useful. However, a bit quirky or hard to execute because Phantasms are quite stationary, so you cannot say to Phantasm when or where it need to be. But however, you have Quickness on Phantasm generation, you have Phantasm on Rifle skill number 4, and you have this on Shield skill number 4, as you can see here, Phantasm. So this is additional source of Quickness for your party. Let's talk briefly about underwater skills. Not that important, but very useful if you know how to use it. First of all, your spear skill number 4 gives a field that gives you super speed and immobilized enemies. Very useful skill for giving yourself and your party super speed and swiftness. Also, spear skill number 2 is very nice to have because it gives you escape. You leap forward in a range of 900 and you can escape enemy quite easily. Also quite important skill is spear skill number 5, which gives pulling ability in the point where you cast the vortex. And it gives you time to escape or maybe CC the enemy which are pulled. It has 9 pulses, so it's a very good skill to use whenever you are in trouble. As for Trident, the important skill is number 5. It pulls your enemy, or rather sync your enemy, which is CC of course. And you can use it when you are underwater. You can use it for enemies that are above water, so on the ground. It says range 1200. This is incorrect. You can cast it even in 1.5k. It is, I think, a little bit bugged, but you can use it for enemies that are on the ground and you are in the water very effectively. Also, Phantasmal Whaler is quite good because it creates Phantasm and Quickness and healing for yourself. And skill number 1 is also good for some Boon generation. It gives you might, swiftness or vigor for you and your allies. So now let's go and talk about some tips and tricks for your Chronomancer. The first one, to have regen at all times during your stay on Chronomancer. Regen is very important boon to have on you because it gives you 250 concentration. Without it, you have 83% of boon duration. With it, as you can see, gives you 100% of boon duration, so maximum that you can have on your character. So remember to have regen on you at all times. The sources of regen: rifle skill number 2, shatter skill number 4, which gives you 20 seconds of regen, very reliable source of regen for you. Another source of regen is your healing skill, which gives you regen for 8 seconds every time you cast your mantra. Another important thing to remember is to cast your rifle skill number 3 during the empower as the last field, because you don't want to have it during the empowering moment of your group, because it is ethereal combo field, which gives you chaos aura, not might. You cast it at the end of empowering process and do not press it again, because otherwise you don't get might and fury on your party. But during the fight you want to cast it again. This is a very important healing skill. Whenever you feel like you lack heal, you can cast rifle skill number 3 on your party and press it again for a quite substantial heal on your party. 3.5k healing is quite nice to have. Also remember to use your rifle skill number 5 in melee clashes particularly, because it gives you barrier and resistance. Barrier is like a pillow for your health and your party, of course. You use it always whenever you feel like changing to sword and shield. You want to use this skill on you and your party before. So use it, very important skill. Another important thing is to use your break stance. You have 3 on your build. You have Shatter skill 4, F4 skill, which is stun break. Your mantra of concentration is stun break, and your well of precognition is stun break. So use it well whenever your party is in trouble and are stunned or CC'd. Use it. Another trick you can do is by using mass invisibility. That's why this skill is here. It's an elite skill of Mesmer. You can of course make your squad, 10 people of your squad, to be more precise, invisible for 6 seconds. But the trick is, if you use it just before you exit the water, you can use your regular elite skill without making it in cooldown. This is also a little bit bugged, I think. I will show it in maybe another video which I show the presentation of Chronomancer rotations. And with that I will finish this presentation. Remember, Chronomancer is quite difficult spec to play, quite complex, especially with using of continuum split, which you can use skills twice. Your clone generation need to be perfect. Preferably you will want to have at least one clone to use that skill. And with that skill you can use all of your skills twice. So bear in mind, it is quite complex spec to play. Thank you very much for your attention, and may the force of Mesmer be with you.